Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Tonight we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. Room here to run. The numbers on the ground for Hunt a week ago. 15 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes the leading rusher.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Nickel Roby brings him down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
They run with Hunt. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Gone. Detroit. Watch it now, Barney. All right, now, Lucky 56.
To throw on second is Simeon. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, is his big performance in the NFC title game, and that's his first catch of the Super Bowl.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Detroit!
Now a play fake, and it's Simeon. Being chased out left. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Holding offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
On second down, here's Simeon. Open man right side is Sharp. Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, is his big performance in the NFC title game, and that's his first catch of the Super Bowl.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got the step on him. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Detroit!
They'll try to run with Hunt. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Leopard! Detroit! All right, now, Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Now Simeon. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. DJ Chark with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Out of the gun, Stafford. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards for number 11. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing is Stafford to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
It finds his target, Fuller. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
A look at the numbers last week for Dion Lewis. 12 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And his pass incomplete. Finally, an incompletion. He was 5 of 5 before that last throw to start this game.
So he is human. All right, so we found out after the way he began, that, okay, he can have an incompletion here or there. But I love what they've done right from the word go. They just need to pay it off with a touchdown now.
And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And And Lambeau will put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher for this beginning.
Here's Simeon. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Simeon will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game.
Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
To throw is Simeon. To the right side and complete to Njoku. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is this ability.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out.
Gun! Detroit! Gun!
Now it's Simeon. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. 23 yards on the play. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Back to throw, Simeon. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for nothing on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
A toss play to Hunt. A good productive run there on 1st down. He winds up getting 8.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit!
They'll fake the handoff. Now Simeon. It's caught by Roberts. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Hard throw, incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
So here come the Lions now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll be second and very short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This is Lewis. And some room to roam now. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Stafford now to throw. He's got 2. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
First down, the run with Lynch. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
The Lions on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down.
180.
On first down, Stafford here. Sanu with a grab over the middle. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
180.
Right back to him on first down. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
To throw on second down is Stafford. This will be caught just inside the 10.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Now Stafford. And it's caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. O.J. Howard, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And we are even at 10 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, and you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A good pickup there, a 22.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
From the 50, it's Simeon. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. On 2nd and 10, Simeon escaping the pressure right. And some room to maneuver. A minute 59 to go in the 1st half. More from Minneapolis after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our 1st half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Simeon on 3rd down. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Here we go on 4th. Simeon. That's to his running back, complete. And he's able to get the 1st before he's taken down at the 36. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Now a first down throw, Simeon. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. 30, 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And that makes it a 17-10 score. On the return, it's Tariq Cohen. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Roberts with it over the middle. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Gone! All right, now, look at 56.
Out of the gun, Simeon. He's got his tight end, Njoku. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. On 1st and 10, Simeon. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. J.J. Nelson, the intended target, and it's 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
Detroit! Over!
2nd and 10, Simeon again. That's Njoku over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Gone! Detroit!
Simeon on first down. And that'll be incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. But not to get too overcritical there, because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
He's going to sling this deep. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. DJ Chark with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match at a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Lewis. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So nothing separating these two teams as we head to the break all square. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And that's a nice gain by him on first down, picking up some key yardage.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Defensively, that's Earl Thomas, the all-pro safety, knocking it free. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan is showing you.
Lucky 56. Gone! Detroit!
Back to the air, Simeon on 2nd down. Lets it go for Nelson. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Gone! Detroit! Gone! Green, 39!
And the blitz does come. Over the middle, hauled in by Sharp. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's the linebacker, Manti Te'o, on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 2nd down, here's Simeon. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Gone! Watch him now, Barney!
To throw on second is Simeon. Flushed out right. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because it nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Simeon. He can run for it, and he will. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
He really looked comfortable there, scanning the situation, analyzing things, feeling the pressure, and then stepping up right through the middle and sprinting for a first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 7.
Detroit!
From the gun, here's Simeon. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. And you wonder, Charles, could that decision come back to haunt them later?
And it really could, because in this situation, you kick the field goal in a tight game like this, that's a good play. Yeah. But maybe what he's saying to himself is, I'm just not a big proponent of the old idea that any possession that ends in a kick, I'm happy with. He wanted to be really aggressive.
A little twist here in the 3rd quarter. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
And they're able to bring him down at the 20. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. He's got the hook up to Lee. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. 2nd and 10, Stafford again. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on football.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Here's Simeon now on second down. Open man right side is Sharp. It's a big one there for the Vikings. And even 40 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
On the run, this is Hunt. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Back to throw, Simeon. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Well, enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
From the gun on 3rd, Simeon. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Simeon now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Simeon steps over, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And it's never going to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Movement there on the offensive line, a little quick, and a 5-yard penalty.
False start. Offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now it's Hunt, and some room to work. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
Well, it looks like they caught him off guard on 2nd and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Here's Simeon. To the right side and complete to Njoku. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Going underneath for Lewis. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
It finds his target, Fuller. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now Lewis. And he'll take this one down near the 15. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Again, it's Lewis. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On third down, they go Lynch. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup. It's still a few chain links short, it appears, with fourth down coming up.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And Lambeau will put this one through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the fourth.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
And the Vikings now heading on to the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Detroit! Detroit!
They run again with Hunt. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Barney. Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Over! Over!
They'll try the air now with Simeon. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Barney, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
51, Mike. Mike 51. Push him back. Push him back. Kill, kill, kill.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Detroit, Detroit. Gun, 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 gun. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Over, lucky 56. Over.
Here's Simeon. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Dontari Poe in on the stop.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. They'll run again with Hunt. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Gun, 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 gun. Detroit, Detroit. Hurry up, here we go. Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Gun, gun, 39.
Now it's Simeon. Flush to his right. That one complete. He finds Shark. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. And with the clock ticking under 50 seconds now, he spikes it. Back to throw. Lee's got it over the middle. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. Would be a long field goal try from here as they try to hustle to the line. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Artie Burns, former first-rounder, there to break that one up. So now it's 4th down and short, and whatever they do, run or pass it, they've got to pick up the first here.
Yeah, and you mentioned running it. That is still an option, but as you've also said, they've got to do it quickly and get back to the line of scrimmage.
He's back to throw. And that's complete to Lewis. And gets by him, and now a little daylight. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. And he clocks it with just 10 seconds left. And it's incomplete. And now we're down to 10 seconds. He'll look to throw. To the right side, complete to Miller. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up third down. Maybe some temptation here to try to go for the win, but I think you got to kick the field goal.
I agree totally. When you look at the time left on the clock, that's not a spot where you take the gamble. Go ahead and kick the field goal here and take it from there.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And that draws him level. It's 23-20. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
First throw in overtime for Stanford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Well, their defense did its job. Now they're going to get the football with a chance to win it.
And it feels like they ran out on the field, and right before they did, they told the offense, don't worry about this. We got you. Okay, we've got the situation under control. We'll get it back for you for a chance to win the game. And, boy, they did it well.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! Gone! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56! Detroit!
Out of the gun, Simeon. They'll roll him out right. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Detroit! Detroit! Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. He may try and run for this. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a 1st.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a 1st down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. And the offense moving quickly to the line. From the 50, it's Simeon. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Right back to him on 1st down. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Wide open receiver complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Offside. Defense.
So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
The penalty is declined.
So obviously, more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
They'll run it here with Hunt. And a short gain here down to the 22. 2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And this a 39-yard attempt. And he got it! The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goal is from in overtime. The knees are always